story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTv News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTv News on the Hour with Nifemi Oguntoye. President Goodluck Jonathan wants the National Assembly to approve a $1 billion foreign loan to enable security forces tackle Boko Haram insurgency. The president explains in a letter to the two legislative chambers that the money will be used to upgrade military equipment. In the letter dated July 15, President Jonathan says part of the fund would be devoted to training and logistics for security forces.
The year 2009 appears to be a tragic turning point. Boko Haram, and assemblies of heartless individuals, took it upon itself to bring evil upon our country. They have, in their mission, turned women to widows and reduced children to orphans. They have killed and maimed and struck fear into law-abiding citizens. They have destroyed villages, towns, attacked property, and terminated people's livelihood without a care. We will never waste any effort in bringing the individuals responsible for crime against humanity to justice. That is why we have put together eminent Nigerians led by the respected statesman and hero, General Yakubu Danjuma, who will be assisted by Fola Adiola, a tested technocrat. They will be supported by public-spirited international agencies and other distinguished Nigerians whose names have been mentioned, and of course they are here with us, a few of them are out of the country. We'll ensure that those who have suffered unjustly in the hands of terrorists can in a little way be consoled.
I personally would like to thank you for the very kind things you said about me, and I'm truly grateful to you. I know that he is coming now to put his many years of experience in finance, administration, to task, and I know that Fola will do an excellent job, and with him, I'm sure we'll carry the rest of the members and we'll do a good job.
Meanwhile, the Bring Back Our Girls movement has denied any role in the decision of parents of the abducted Chibok girls to call off the scheduled meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan. The leadership of the group says in a statement made available to CoreTv News that they were surprised that government officials accused the movement of sabotaging the meeting. They explained that even though the Chibok community informed them of the invitation, the group insisted that only the invited parents have the right to decide on the matter. The protest movement added that the Chibok community later informed its leaders of its intention to ask for an expanded meeting involving all the grieving parents with the president at a later date. We told you earlier the parents of the abducted Chibok girls on Tuesday failed to show up for a meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan. 5 of the girls who escaped from Boko Haram camp also did not keep their appointment with Mr. President. This was in spite of earlier assurances they gave the Pakistani activist Malala Yousafzai after her interaction with the president. Presidential aide Doyo Kupe told State House correspondents that the Bring Back Our Girls movement sabotaged the appointment.
Malala was actually threatening that she will not leave unless they agree, or that even that, if they do not agree, she will, dissociate herself from, Bring Back Our Girls.
This is an indication that there's a face-off between the federal government and the Bring Back Our Girls campaign.
It's not a face-off. It's not a face-off. It is a revelation of the, what we have always been saying, that there's more than meets the eye in this our local branch of Bring Back Our Girls. That they're really, it is actually some form of hypocrisy. That their real concern is to play politics, present the president in a bad way, for political reasons. They are not interested in dialogue, as you can see. These folks are interested in playing a political trump card. Everything is geared towards 2015. The whole idea is that Jonathan is unstoppable, and all you need to do is to find a way to wipe off enough sentiments to ensure that he does not present himself, or he cannot be presented for an election. Period.
A suspected coup mastermind of the Yahya Bahman has been extradited to Nigeria from Sudan. British-born Aminu Oguche was flown into the country in a presidential jet and accompanied by Nigerian members of Interpol. The bomb suspect looked subdued as he walked down the plane between two operatives with his hands cuffed. Oguche, who was previously in the Nigerian army, fled to Sudan shortly after the bomb attack on the bus terminal in April, but was arrested within days. Nigerian authorities are glad that the terror suspect is now back to answer for his alleged crimes.
This is also evident that the armed forces of Nigeria and security services and all agencies are working hard to put this thing behind us as a nation. So therefore, it is time for all of us to come together, stand with our people, stand with our government, stand with our armed forces and the security services, so that we can build a peaceful, united, progressive and prosperous country once again.
Meanwhile, police detectives have arrested a suspected senior member of Boko Haram while fleeing counterinsurgency operation at Bamo Forest in Bauchi State. Police spokesman Frank Umba said in a statement that 30-year-old Mohammed Zakari is the self-styled chief butcher at the insurgent camp in the forest. He's said to be responsible for the recent slaughter of 7 people, including women and children. Umba added that preliminary investigation reveals that the suspect was trained in the art of insurgency at Gombe Forest by fleeing insurgent one Abatara before he moved to Bamo Forest about 3 months ago. The police say that he actively participated in the April attack against customs officers at Kerry town along Maiduguri Road in Bauchi State. Away from that, Chairman of Amuwo Dofun Local Government Area of Lagos, Ayodele Adewale, has issued a Save Our Soul message to the Lagos State Government on the activities of a group known as Vigilante Vanguard. This is coming against what the community describes as several attacks on its residents by the group. Rashidat Balogun visited the community and brought back this report presented from our studios.
While issuing the Save Our Soul plea to the Lagos State Government, Ayodele Adewale says the Vigilante Vanguard has launched several unprovoked attacks on people within the council. He called on the state governor to come to the aid of the people and save their lives and property.
I have written to the CP, I have written to the AIG, I have written to the IG, and I have written to the Police Service Commission. I have written letter to the governor, I have written to the House of Assembly. I have also notified the SSS.
Jola Ogunlusi, Chairman Community Development Committee, Amuwo Dofin Local Government, says the police have not been cooperative, calling for a change to ensure peace and sanity for residents.
So I hope the authority, up to the president, will know that things are not well here. The FHA will come into it, and the Minister of Employment should know this, that things are not well here, and it should come to assistance.
Some victims of the latest attack say the attackers swooped on them as they made to plant trees at a designated spot in compliance with the Lagos State Government's Clean to Green campaign.
On the bike. So I just saw a lot of guys flinging bottles with gunshots all over everywhere. And now they stopped everybody. I saw some people, about 100 people, 100 sort of boys with full weapons, guns, bottles, with all sort of weapons. And what is all this? I don't even know. I don't even know what really happened. What I just had on my head, flinging of bottles.
A lot of people coming out in their mats with different kind of, machetes, arms, charm, and different kind of everything like that coming to us. You can look at my face here. I was injured. It's not because of the grace of God that I dodged a little bit. It will have punctured my eye.
Telltale signs of the attack is still there for all to see, but an attempt by CoreTv news crew to have an audience with members of the crew met a brick wall as the team had to beat a hasty retreat in the face of an impending attack.
Away from there to Adamawa State, where the House of Assembly Speaker Amadou Umaru Fintiri has been sworn in as acting governor for the next 3 months. This followed the sacking of former Governor Murtala Nyako, who was indicted for gross financial misconduct. The acting governor was sworn in by the acting chief judge of the state, Ambrose Mamadi, at the ceremony that took place at the Executive Council chamber of the Government House. In his inaugural speech, the acting governor saluted the courage of the state legislators and urged residents to refrain from acts capable of breaching public peace. Umaru first ruled the state for 2 weeks in acting capacity in January 2012 when the Supreme Court sacked Nyako.
The task before this government is enormous given the level of decay Adamawa State has witnessed in the past several years. It is regrettable that the shameless plundering of the state by the so-called leaders was far greater in scale than the destruction unleashed on the region by insurgents.
Meanwhile, one of the leaders of the All Progressives Congress, Bukola Saraki, has described the impeachment of Nyako as an assault on democracy. The former Kwara State governor, who is currently a member of the Senate, told journalists in Abuja that the stability of Nigeria's democracy is now at stake.
Look at the bigger picture. Look at the stability of our democracy. And look what, because it's not only Adamawa. I hear that now Nasarawa has been served and 3 other states might be served. We're all going to ask ourselves whether this is the interest of the bigger issues addressing this country now that need unity. The issue of, major issue of security, the issue of poverty, and I think some of these issues, because there's a very fine line. Some of the issues before the governor of Nasarawa can apply anywhere. And I think we really need to be matured about our democracy and look at the bigger picture. I think with 6 months to election, honestly, to me, I don't think this should be the priority. And I think that all of us that love this country, we really need to talk to ourselves and let us put the issues that Nigerians are more concerned about before us and not dissipate our energy on issues that will divide us, overheat the polity, and create problems for ourselves. The issues before us are, we all talk all over, is how do we improve the lives of our people, how do we provide security for our people, and I think those are the issues that matter now. And those who are, beating the drums, I think there's need for them to know some of these things might come back to haunt all of us. There's need for us to show maturity.
The Federal Executive Council has approved a consultancy contract for the construction of over 4,000 kilometers of standard gauge rail lines across the country. The 1.3 billion naira contract is, according to Information Minister Labaran Mako, part of efforts to modernize the railway system in Nigeria. Mako and his transport counterpart Idris Umar, who briefed State House correspondents on the outcome of the meeting, said the consultants are expected to complete work within 6 months.
Today, again, the minister brought to council, another contract to award consultancy services for the design of 6 additional lots stretching across south-south, southeast to north-central, as well as the northeast and northwest, northwestern parts of the country. A total of 4,430 kilometers of rail lines, modern rail lines, will be involved in what Council discussed today and which were approved for consultancy services to develop, the standard gauge rail line to further facilitate the fast movement of goods and services as Nigeria expands and industrializes.
The total length of the 6 corridors is 4,430 kilometers, and is going to cost the federal government 1.3 billion naira. Number 1, Kano Dei to Katsina to Jibia, an approximate distance of 354 kilometers. The contract is awarded to Masons Team Nigeria Limited in the contract sum of 141.2 million naira with a completion period of 6 months. Number 2, the standard gauge rail line from Ilela to Sokoto to Jega to Yauri to Makera with a branch line to Kontagora, covering a distance of 408 kilometers, and that is awarded to Masons Crest Hill Engineering Limited for the sum of 170 million naira with a completion period of 6 months.
Outside Nigeria, United States Secretary of State John Kerry has warned of great risks of spiraling violence in Gaza and called on Arab nations to push Hamas to accept a ceasefire. Kerry says he has decided to cancel a planned trip to Egypt and return to Washington in order to give a Cairo-brokered ceasefire on Gaza conflict some time to work. He had Arab nations to push the Islamist Hamas movement to accept the deal, which he has so far rejected despite approval from Israel.
However, there are also very real gaps on other key issues. And what we are trying to do is find a way for Iran to have an exclusively peaceful nuclear program while giving the world all the assurances required to know that Iran is not seeking a nuclear weapon. What is happening there and in the potential of an even greater escalation of violence. We don't want to see that. Nobody does, nor does Israel. But Israel has a right to defend itself. And it is important for Hamas not to be provoking and purposefully trying to play politics in order to gain greater followers for its opposition and use the innocent lives of civilians whom they hide in buildings and use as shields and put in danger. We urge all parties to support this ceasefire. And we support and we ask all the members of the Arab community, as they did yesterday at the Arab League meeting in Cairo, to continue to press to try to get Hamas to do the right thing here, which is cease the violence, engage in a legitimate negotiation, and protect the lives of people that they seem all too willing to put to risk. Prepared. President Obama has said this again and again, to do everything in our power to help the parties come together, to work to create a climate for genuine negotiations, to be able to deal with the issues that truly separate these parties. And we stand prepared to do that. I am prepared to fly back to the region tomorrow if I had to, or the next day, or the next, in order to pursue the prospects if this doesn't work. But they deserve, the Egyptians deserve the time and the space to be able to try to make this initiative work, and we hope it.
And that's it on CoreTv News this hour. Do join us again at 9:45 for the primetime news. I'm Nithemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.